22 January 2024. We kicked the risk report 2024 3 January.blogspot.com. It's coming since 2014, and everything we did is legal and results are for real. We do not expect any kind of payment, especially by self-defense, which is made as a right under suppression like all others, including the guarantees. If you take a look at the Brazilian Constitution, which are the area we suffered the aggressions and the violation of rights and guarantees, considering the Universal Declaration of Human Rights confirmed by the Congress. But the Congress in silence, just like all other architecture of institutional power, considering the state, not only Brazil, but combined internationally by frauds and crimes on budget, violated my rights without excuse. By this, we presented this complaint and made stronger the complaint that comes since all God knows, calling this bad attitude as lack of will, but indeed the will as prerogative and institutional power to fight the crime and corruption, misused for beef and encourage the crime and corruption, is named cowardice. It's the lack of will qualified by specific behavior, like a monkey with a fork or a spoon that has no idea what kind of thing the monkey must do. We will check moving and keeping what we are doing as self-defense, and the charge as compensation against this solidarity at power misuser, segmented by power misusers currently in blazing act, including the silence from institutions and states until the checks on it. I can shut down an institution or state, but you can request the payment against them to be regressed until the order or abusive procedure that allow to get them as heads of this criminal movement. We had the wild data tax, we are reading the blog, and the rational architecture with the semi-automatic grid environment, codified by binary values with internal values observed as motivation indeed exist, but the will to be against the crime is null or really weak. But to commit crime or keep the criminal environment continued exists for sure. The problem is the sense of this kind of thing. If we are doing an optimization, or I say inside our private living, Brazilian Constitution says that there are no circumstances to break this, and also the data. Because if you consider that you can do this by analogical thought in the way we have in Brazil, even to create crimes, you will kind of consider that you can murder and do the annihilation. And the life is a guarantee in Brazil. Also, you, even in a period of war or treason, there are no law that is up to enough power and to overcome the Constitution. This is the Conrad Hess theory in Germany. But Brazil respects nothing, and so the peers, including the science. And we will have a full presentation and summary previously, and we are having the credit as this moral entity, a single creditor request to ask crime system. Brazil and peer by compliance architecture set in Brazil, basically by guarantee 33 on Article 5 defaulted as my right or the guarantee of this credit to request the public information. If do with others, it's an intentional thing. If it's only against me, it's a specific intentional thing. Just like all other my guarantees violated, including basic rights and the consumership. If it has any relation between legacy, heritage, and property as vacance, which no owner by all beneficiaries victimized, you have the vacancy, the bank agents got closed and the accounts modified and transferred to a new agency as bank. And of course that you will have, in many cases, if everybody got that, property with no owner. And then you will request if has any relation between bank agencies closed and any relation by specific individuals or groups. They are not the organized crime, they are regular people, they are kind of the middle class, family, single individuals, or even investors with concurrent segment as fake record. It's that case when you have the benefit as your husband or wife has a public office, got that, will receive the salary, but now as the partner relation that she was married, for instance, it's the murder industry. Trust scheme unveiled legacy, heritage, and property as vacancy, no owner, and by all beneficiaries victimized. We have vacancy, the bank agencies closed, the transference, and now new agents and account after the period to set the records by fake data, IoT, it's the counterfeit directory. The international police has the case. And you move the money around, and the way you do commoditizing things, even life, organs, or things that you are having the observation. If this effort is against terror in Brazil, the effort made against this effort indeed is beefing up the terror as action. In the same way, the organized crime inside institution. We requested to recognize and convict doing the regression from institution and states until the chairs. Number 3, is this happening in Brazil as forgotten money on banks? Object, annihilation, and others by institution and state power misused at the chair level by specific power misusers, combined by silence, concurrent at the illicit will to keep scams and results of criminal activity. Covered always by fake records because has no transparency as a criminal activity, has no excuse. Also, and in the same way as criminal activity inside the state or institution. Please confirm on US Embassy and European Unity with Commission and Portugal if Brazilian peers got the object at cognizance as optimization and say we are doing, at least try on private living. Considering the US defensive system, the NATO and interest, international business machine, and legal investors, because the investors, illegal or criminal investors in Blazing Act, holding the money as illicit storage. The antitrust just must order their prison and seizure the money, if it has the will. At private living, nor data, both are guarantees. If you violate the private living, making interference in the private environment, indeed you violate a guarantee without excuse that can be violated in the same way the data. Convict all from economic espionage and harassment, from obstruction after the regression, from institution and states combined until the chair, Embassy Act currently on power misuse. Plan a crime, a department is crime even without result. It's the transnational organized crime in Brazil, allowing the international application of the local law to call the international law locally applied. And if this effort is anti-terror, it's a terror act by equity, not analogical fault, but equity. Because you will do everything against anything that do not uphold the corruption in institutional or state crime, especially that one complained from since the budget until the entire subsidiary and criminal records in Brazil, and by this worth nothing, and also the peers combined with and so the economic and financial records, non-reliability, and unveil the script. And it's the law 13,260, Article 3. Take a look on Article C, it's the anti-terror law in Brazil. Observe it blind eye, Article 13 of criminal law, you accept the risks as be qualified in the way we prove it. There's a criminal architecture running criminal purpose at the chair level by the power misused, compliant at the International Criminal Court in the same way, and the combination as corruption globally is a trust scam. And this is the basis and premise of institutional corruption, the fake records, because keep the small curtain. But by specific hands, you get one, you get all, by the interaction and the interconnection from local to global, and indeed, the lack of legitimacy is enough reason to put the chair out of the institution and let real players play the game. Cut not only a budget but also an abusive procedure to steal data and ensure the trust scam it's under dismantle, at least by my intent as a single individual and creditor doing the legal charge, and we have some words to kind of break the ice on 2024, 40 trillion, 12 billions, all legal with fees by default, and the second magical theory, monkeys with forks, kind of, it's the misuse of power. Previously we had the cretinismus brasilis, the obsession to commit crimes using control instruments. I don't have a diary yet because it's at the postal system that violate everything. In Brazil, the last thing we had was the US impeachment or any procedure considering different interests divided as kind of different motivations inside, kind of, let's suppose, Russia and Ukraine, keep the war, not keep the war, keep the war, not keep the war. The codification of the environment will lead to the corruption as motivation, or motivation confirmed as something for real. If you would like to have the war to obtain advantage, indeed you have no dignity as a warrior, I would say. If you kept the war to sustain the argument that it's the same people, even doing the aggression, sometimes you will probably understand that we had a division of the environment by the motivation at the struggle linked or attached with the players at this, right? Have a great day and happy 2024. Payments not made in Brazil but on Embassy USA, considering the observation of Europe and the European Community antitrust punch card. The investment made, of course, that will have a payback and will allow the research of who is claiming the investment. If by any circumstance, even as third interest covering criminal activity, in Brazil, for instance, you are considered a criminal by association. It's not different in other area. We will have the payment also on European Embassy as Portugal, and we nominated as preference the Bank of America and the Bank of Portugal, and having open data totally to the committee, I would say, on Europe, considering mentioned heads as previous or current leadership at the international police, for instance, Mr. Jürgen Stock, or the anti-bribery as OECD, the Mr. Drago Coles, or the Mr. Jens Stoltenberg on NATO, with kind of another representative that is suggested on Europe, and they will kind of make the reading of operational systems, of operational pattern and the financial system, Europe and USA. Right? Have a great day.